Dan, I'm not getting any sounds.
Beyond the icy slopes to the northeast, deep below the Kelvin Cairns Mountains in the Dwarven Valley,
No sound on the stream?
Grimly was born.
No sound to me. It's on stream though.
He was a beautiful baby boy, or so you would think. Grimly Stonejaw was born pale-skinned, soft-featured, and unfortunately for his mother, with a very human face. In his dwarven stubbornness, his father was quick to accuse his mother of being unfaithful and abandoned her, leaving Grim feeling unwanted. Eventually, this led to the untimely and mournful death of his heartbroken mother. Years later, under Grim's birth moon, something new happened to Grim. He made a friend. A fat dwarf with a full and funny beard named Torrig noticed Grim's exceptional forging skills and came to him for work. This led to them becoming fast friends, laughing and drinking together, sparring even, eventually leading to combat training. Things were looking up for the lonely dwarf, but the Dale worries not for the feelings of a single dwarf. On a day of exceptionally fierce winter winds, the Ord pair set out to train near the south end of the valley when a massive blizzard blew in faster than one could possibly conceive. Searching frantically for any sight of his friend, the storm suddenly stopped without reason. An absolute silence pierced the air, louder than any storm. Scanning the snow-beaten landscape, Grim sees it. His friend lay dead in the snow, eviscerated. In the confusion and terror, he ran. He ran as far as he could from that sight. He ran from his clan in shame and sadness, knowing there is nothing left for him there now. Though he cannot run from himself, his dreams, nor his shame, he will be bound by fate to face them all.
And welcome to Nat1Fun. We welcome our dwarven friend Grimly to the party here. Welcome, Brad.
Thank you.
All right. So before we get started, I want to go over a couple things. First off, again, for any of you artists out there that feel froggy and want to draw something for the stream, don't be afraid to throw that down in our Discord channel. Wins you free stuff eventually. If you end up being the only artist for that week, hey, you get a free sub for the month. If you end up, being an artist over time, you're going to get free subs. You're going to get chances to win free dice, free books, everything. So art it up. Next up is I'm going to roll an ad for you guys. Yes, I know ad, but this is actually for the charity stream that's going to be happening on the 5th. So enjoy this for a second as it plays, and after that, we'll go ahead and get started.
Hey, Dan here. Look, I know this year has been chaos, but just 1 second of your time before the game starts. On Saturday, December 5th at noon Central Standard Time, we'll be having our first official Session 1 with the whole team together. That stream will be dedicated to the Direct Relief's COVID-19 response charity. All donations and profits made during that game will go straight to helping those suffering from the effects of COVID and also to the doctors and nurses out there on the front line every day. On top of that, we will be gathering subscribers to the Twitch channel and putting them into a drawing for free sets of dice and even a free D&D book, digital or physical, your choice. Tasha's Cauldron of Everything seems pretty interesting. So, get down to our Twitch channel and give it a follow to be notified when we go live next. Sorry about that. Now, on with the video.
All right. So that was kind of our little sponsorship ad, self-sponsorship. Made that not too long ago, and it tells you everything you need to know. So on the 5th, be here, and it'll benefit for the COVID-19 Relief Fund, and it'll be our first official session. So with the whole group, that'll be a nice little fun escapade. So, Brad, Do you have anything you need to say before we get started? Any shout outs, anything?
Sure. Hey everyone, my name's Brad. Uh, I've been streaming for a couple years now, and just recently got into Dungeons and Dragons. Um, so I'm just really excited for this, and hope it goes well. I'm really nervous, but anyways, we'll see how it goes.
Brad, are you are in Roll20? Yes. Can you double check to make sure that you can hear the music coming from it? I just started it.
Yes, I can hear it.
Okay, excellent. All right. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's get the music started. This one starts off a little fast. Grimly, snow blasts across your face as you sprint forward through the waist-high snow. Clearing your way with your hands, you can barely move faster than your walking speed. Breathing heavily and frantically, you try and look out, but all you see is dense fog. But it's not the fog that worries you, or what you're even running from. It's the snowstorm and the monstrous wailing you hear in the white unknown. Suddenly, as you're running forward, you lose your step as a large hill, impossible to see due to the blizzard, causes you to fall head over heel down this steep embankment. Until you land in a deep pile of snow. When you come to an abrupt halt at the bottom, you find it difficult to tell up from down. Just white everywhere. Quickly you find your footing, and as you pull yourself up from the deep snow, you're taken aback by complete silence. You look forward, and all you can hear now is your own breath. As plumes and condensation exit your mouth, you look around frantically, and a horrific sense of familiarity and dread comes over you as you look helplessly into the blizzard. And there they appear again. A set of glowing red eyes perforate the white blanket of snow just up ahead. A low rumble begins to fill the empty void of sound as the eyes begin to grow in size, shaking with even a bit of arctic red electricity flaring from one eye to the other, growing larger and larger and larger, until just then, thunk, you feel a kick in your rib cage as you are startled from sleep. Hey! Hey! What are you doing? You'll freeze to death out here.
Oh, what happened? Where am I?
You see, you've been in Bryn Shander now for over 2 weeks, drifting from place to place, trying to figure out why it is you're still alive. You look up, and staring back down at you now is a woman, just over 5 feet tall, full-bodied, with rosy cheeks, long dark hair that's been braided and swung over her shoulder. As she looks at you, she kind of closes her eyes in a bit of happiness and in realizing that you're still alive. And she looks down at you and she says, "Come now, on your feet. Get you some soup. It'll at least warm you up from your napping outdoors." And she kind of looks down at you and she points at the ground and she says, "Don't forget your stuff."
Right.
And you look over, and on the ground next to you is your shield, your large shield. And then right next to that, lying on the ground, is an open journal, one that you know. And on the journal, while it's open, it's blank. And this is what you see. And I'll show you in roll 20. You see this, and suddenly as you're reaching for it to grab it, an image burns itself into the page for just a moment before disappearing back to nothing.
What the fuck? What the hell did I just see?
Hey, Dan here. Well, look, I know this year has been...
Don't worry about that. You look and you kind of look over it, like in fear that maybe somebody else saw it, and you can see now that the woman is already making her way back to the hut that you are currently across from, and she is already unlocking the door. She doesn't seem to take notice.
I'll follow her. Put my stuff away and I'll follow after her.
You grab your shield up from the ground and quickly place your the journal within your pack. And you make your way to the door. She unlocks a few locks and opens the doorway. Inside you can see that this converted cottage now serves as a gathering place for worshippers of some sort, made obvious by the large wooden shrine at the far end of this large open room. The shrine itself looks like the imagery of a large golden sun. Oil lanterns are lit by the woman, giving off a warm orange glow to the room and casting harsh flickering shadows upon the floor. She finishes lighting all the torches, or I'm sorry, all the lanterns on the wall, kind of looks around, and she looks up at the ceiling, and you can see a look of and she gets up on the table and takes her staff that she was carrying and boom, 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 hits the ceiling with the staff. She says, "Copper, we have a guest. Warm up the soup, please." She looks at you, steps down from the table. What's your name, stranger?
Yeah. What's yours?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Grimly.
Ah, Grimly.
You can call me
Fine.
Grim if you like.
Grim it is. I see that you carry the symbol of Helm. Are you also a member of the cloth?
Yeah, just recently. He found me actually.
Oh yes?
You can say that I'm a proud follower.
Well, that's good. At least you believe in something. It gives us something to hang on during these times. Well, as you can see, this is a house of Amon Ator, the keeper of the eternal sun. She kind of looks up And she reaches over towards the staircase that leads to the second floor. And you can just hear her, Copper! Copper Knobberknocker! Come down here and don't forget the soup! Incorrigible man. Anyways.
A name like Knobberknocker, I'm not surprised.
If you only knew. Make yourself at home until the soup is ready. I'll just be over here sweeping up. And you see her go over to the front doorway where you guys had just entered, and she begins to sweep all the snow that had entered through the doorway whenever you came in up into a small pile next to the door.
Thank you, thank you. I'll go relax. Is there a fire in here? I'll go warm up by the fire.
There is no fire. There is no fire.
Okay.
There are only the small lanterns that are lit on the side. They're oil lanterns that are lit on the side of the walls there.
All right. Then I'll just shake off the snow that's on my boots and then go sit down at a table. I'll pull out my book again and just skim through it, see if there's anything else going on. Anything that I don't already know is there.
Yeah. As you look through it, you see all the writings that you would definitely know was already there. And as you get to the page that you were just at earlier in the snow, very slowly and timidly turn to it and see nothing but a blank page.
What's going on?
Yeah, it kind of takes you by surprise and bewilderment. But as you're looking through the book, you hear coming down the stairs now what sounds like clay pots kind of knocking into each other. And coming down the stairs, the very short man, about the size of a gnome, making his way down each step very carefully, almost hopping from one step to the next due to his short legs, causing the bowls to kind of clink, clink, clink as he makes his way down. You see a small man, even for a gnome, dressed head to toe in a very poofy winter coat. Although quite warm looking, it kind of looks like a small teddy bear. He makes his way into the last step, kind of stumbles and waddles over to you and slides it up onto the table and makes his way and hops up into the chair next to you. And he stands up in his chair and he holds out his hand. He goes, "Copper Knobberknocker, nice to meet ya."
Nice to meet you. And I'll just engulf his full hand in mine.
Yep. And you're like grabbing mostly thick coat at that point, and he kind of like, he's like, and just kind of rips his hand away from you. He's like, "Quite a grip on ya. Well, what brings you to Lathander's home?" And from the back, you can hear, "It's a monitor, not Lathander." "Whatever. It's Lathander. So, what brings you here?"
Well, I've been traveling for quite some time, just looking for any place to gain refuge. Do you know of any work around here? Because I'm kind of new to town.
I don't know of any around town. We kind of just stick to our own here, in the church. But I mean, there is one thing that you could do. Well, why don't you answer me this? Where are you from?
Up near the Dwarven Mines?
Near the Dwarven Mines, you say?
Yes.
So you should know about the Lonelywood. Do you know about Lonelywood?
It sounds familiar.
One of 10 towns.
Yeah, right, right.
From across the room while she's sweeping, you hear, "Oh, not this again."
Shut it, woman! Anyways, look, hey, if you ever find your way up north again, for any reason, there's a friend of mine. His name is Hopkin Gumbles.
Hopkin Gumbles.
And he's doing research at an old cabin in the woods. Now, normally we'd be crossing letters here and there, but I haven't heard from him in quite some time. Apparently, the kook was up there building something to help solve this everlasting night business. I don't know anything about it, don't get me on it, but he never really told anybody. But I worry. When somebody's got an idea like that and you stop hearing from them, you start thinking about the worst.
Right.
Just a thought.
That's interesting. If somebody could stop this thing, then a lot less lives would be lost. Hopkins, you said.
Sure.
Maybe I'll pay him a visit. Maybe I'll pay him a visit someday.
It's Hopkin Gumbles.
Hopkin Gumbles. I'll remember that.
Anyways, here's your soup. And
Thank you.
may Lathander's light shine on you.
Aminator!
Right.
Yeah, whatever.
Thank you.
He kind of takes his soup that he had made for himself as well, and goes and sits by the large wooden statue in the back of the room. Opens up a little book that he's been reading and begins to read. The woman walks back up to you, and she says, "Well, Grim, pleasure to meet you. My name is Mishan."
Misha. Nice to meet you
Mishan.
too.
Mishaan. Mishan.
Misha.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. So, are you needing a place to stay? Why were you out there in the snow?
Honestly, I don't belong anywhere right now. I can't go back home. So yeah, if you know of a place I could stay, I would much appreciate it.
Well, I mean, seeing as that we're pretty vacant right now due to a lot of people, not making it back from the snow, or, well, the town has just been kind of diminishing as of late. We do have a room in the back for you if you'd like.
Oh yes, yes. If something's available, I'll help out around here if you need.
That would be wonderful. This helm of yours, you said you just recently had dealings with him, or just started believing? What led you to that?
Well, I've been by myself most of my life, and recently, I had a death of a good friend, so.
Oh, my condolences.
Right. Anyways, Helm's there for me. It like gives me hope.
Well, in times like these, hope is sometimes all we have.
Right.
And go ahead and roll me a religion check.
Natural 19. 19.
You guys always get me with natural 19. Natural 8. It's like, what?
Right.
All right. So with a natural 19, you know that you've done some studies just recently, as a matter of fact, into the pantheon that goes across the realms. You know a little bit about the lesser known Aminator, but you know a little bit more about, of course, Lathander. Lathander being the more popular of the gods here. Lathander, of course, being the god of the sun, god of light. But you know a little bit about Aminator. Aminator being an older god, one that was said to come before Lathander, and Lathander said to be from Aminator, originally taken from him in some way and started his own following.
Okay.
Well, you know, our place is as good as yours. You know, we don't ask for coin around here, as it is a place of worship. But you know, if you could do, you know, the mundanities around here, I think that'd be more than enough to pay for your stay for now.
Yeah.
The room's upstairs. It'll be, unfortunately, by our friend Copper here, but I think you'll learn to get along with him over time. He grows on you.
I'm sure we will.
I heard that.
You see, he doesn't
Well,
even
thank
look
you.
up from his book.
Right. If there's any handiwork or anything you need done here, I'm a pretty good smith, so just let me know. Otherwise, I'll just try to find anything that I can do around here.
Well, you know, if you find something, then you're more than welcome to help out. But I don't have anything specifically.
Okay.
You know, but you know, you feel free to rest your head. It looks like you're quite weary.
Yes. You said upstairs.
Yeah, upstairs on the left. It's the only other room besides Copper's.
Okay. I'll thank you. I'll go lay down for a bit.
You're very welcome.
Quite tired, and I'll head to the room
Okay.
with my things.
As you're headed to the room, you can see Copper just like eyeing you above his book as he like licks his finger and like turns the page as you walk up the stairs. And you make it into the room. And the room is very humble. You open the door and it's a small angled roof that allows for you kind of to duck inside. And once you're inside, you can stand up. It's about perfect height for a dwarf, but any higher than that, you'd be having to kind of hunch over. But you see a very quaint bed that is made of, you know, sheep's skin or some sort of wool and fur. And that's about it.
Perfect. I'll set my things over next to the bed and kick off my boots and lay down. Try to get some rest
Okay.
and try not to think about what happened these past few nights.
As you lay down in bed, you set your gear off to the side. You lay your sword beside the bed itself. And as you lay down, you close your eyes and you can hear the sound of the wind battering against the wood outside, making for a clunking noise. And you close your eyes and you find it difficult to sleep. Just as you're about to get to sleep, a flash of red eyes appear in your sight, causing you to abruptly kind of wake up for a moment, look around the room. Roll a perception check.
12.
12. You look around the room.
Sorry, 15.
15.
Nope,
No,
it's
wait,
12.
38. All right,
Yes.
12. So, yeah, 12. You look around the room. As you're looking around the room, nothing. Just nothing. The sound beating against the doors. I'm sorry, beating against the walls outside. The creaking of wood outside of your door. You feel like somebody was in the room when you woke up, but nothing.
I'm just gonna roll over, stare at the wall, then probably get no sleep. Just listening.
You roll over, lay down, try to get sleep, try to get sleep. And you fall asleep. As you fall asleep, the same recurring dream you've had now for the last who knows how long happens yet again as you're running through the snow, falling, tumbling, and seeing the red eyes once again coming from the snow, growing larger and larger and larger, until suddenly, hey!
What?
Hey, I've been knocking on this door for like 15 minutes. You okay?
Yeah, I'll be out in a minute.
Just making sure you're okay. Anyways, if you have some time, you can come downstairs. We're having a service, a small service, but you know, you can of course join us if you'd like.
Yes, yeah, I could use that. That would be nice. I'll be out in a minute. Thank you.
No problem. You must have been tired, sleeping nearly 20 hours. I'll make my way out.
Yeah. 20 hours? What the?
He makes his way out the door and closes it behind him.
I'll gather my things together and... What the 20 hours? That feels like I slept 5 minutes.
You go to grab your shield, sling it across your back, and you grab your pack and you look, and the journal is just burning a hole in your mind, and you just have this overwhelming want and need to open it. What do you do?
I'll pick it up, and I think first I'll turn to a page that I'm familiar with before I go looking further.
Yeah, you go to a familiar page. What is this page about?
It's the last entry I made before I ran.
Okay.
It just says going out training with Doric today. And I'll just think about him for a moment, and then I'll turn the page.
You slowly turn the page, and the page is blank for about a moment, until suddenly a flash within your mind, and the image pops up yet again on the book, and then suddenly disappears. But as you're looking at it, you see now that words and a picture begins to slowly fade in, almost as if ink seeping through cloth on the other side, revealing the words Bryn Shander and swords.
Brinshander. I've heard of that place.
Well, you're currently in Bryn Shander.
Right. But I mean, I just came into this town looking for help.
Mm-hmm.
Swords. Swords. What the fuck does this mean? I'll just close the book real quick.
Yep.
And
for sure.
where is this coming from? I'm losing my mind here. Swords, swords, swords. Maybe it's a message. Find swords. Maybe a weaponry. I don't know. All right. I'll think about it for a moment, and then I'll head downstairs for service.
Okay. You close the book and shove it back in your pack. Kind of readjust your gear as your gear is a little bit heavy. Moving the bits of metal underneath the large amounts of fur that you wear. And you make your way downstairs. You open the door, and you can see that Copper has just now made his way down to the bottom of the stairs, and you begin to make your way downstairs. You see that their service is full up of about 2 people. One sitting closer to the wooden statue and one sitting in the very back. All the while, you see Mishan walking from the person in the back with what looks like a small bowl, kind of making her way to the front, and she looks to be dressed in her priest-like clothing at this point, making her way to the front and just looking at the one person up front kind of like bows their head down and places their hand upon Mishan's, and Mishan places her hand upon hers, and she takes her fingers and kind of dips it down into the oil and kind of rubs it across the person's forehead, and she kind of bows down. Mishan bows, and she makes her way back over to the wooden statue and places the bowl upon the shelf that it stands on. And she can see you coming down the stairs. She can hear you coming down the stairs for sure, as she looks over and just kind of looks at you and gives you a nod.
I'll nod back, and I'll head over to the bowl and just dip my fingers in it, touch it, and I'll pull my cloth out that's tucked through my belt that has the emblem of the Eye of Helm.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull that out, and I'll go kneel, and I'll just kiss the fabric on the emblem and bow my head.
As you bow your head, you just think of all the terrible things that have been happening recently, and it's not even just recently. Your whole life has been one thing after the other. Just thinking about your place in this world, what it means, why Helm has chosen to protect you. Do you have anything to say, or no?
I'll say, and I won't say it out loud, I'll just think it.
Okay.
Why me? Why? Help me.
As you're sitting there praying and thinking, you feel a small hand on your shoulder, and you look over and kind of open one eye as you peek over to the side, and you kind of see the small little gnome next to you with like a nice little grin on his face, and he's like,
You sure you're alright, friend?
Yeah. It's just been really hard.
It's been hard for a lot of us. I apologize that it's been so hard on you, my friend.
Yeah.
May Lathander
I'll be
lead you
alright.
to the light once more.
Yes, yes. Thank you. You as well.
You seem a little out of it when I came to greet you this morning. You would think after so long sleeping that you'd be well rested. Is there anything that I can do to help?
I've been having these weird dreams recently. It's just a reoccurring dream that really keeps me up. So it seems like I'm getting rest, but I'm not. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if you can help me.
Well, if there's anything you can tell me, I can see if we can figure this out together. It seems that reoccurring dreams is sometimes a sign of things to come, things that have been.
Maybe you can help me with something. I'll pull my book out.
He kind of looks over and like he he knowingly knows that it's very delicate to you as you kind of pull it out and slowly bring it out, and he's like kind of standoffish at first.
So I've been. This is more of a personal a book that I use to, write down my thoughts and things, but something else is writing in it now. I don't know if that's weird or you've ever heard of something like that, but I'll open
You
up to the
mean
page that.
someone's stealing it and writing in your journal?
No, these things are appearing in it by themselves. I might be going crazy.
It does sound odd. What is it
Have you-
that you'd like me to see?
Do you know a place with swords?
I'm sorry?
And you show him the picture, and he looks at it and he takes it and he's like,
Bryn Shander, well, I mean, you're in the right place. Swords. Swords. Would you mind if I asked Mishan for a little bit of her insights?
Oh, go ahead. Yes, anything would help.
and
I don't
he-
really know Bryn Gender that well.
He kind of turns over to Mishan, and Mishan is either deep within prayer or sleeping, one of the two, as she's kind of leaned up against the wall on one of the sides of the cabin, and you see Copper, of course, leaves the journal with you for a moment, and as Copper is going, one of the people in the back of the room then goes and just like leaves in the middle of the ceremony and just takes off, and you see them wrap themselves up in cold weather gear and make their way out, opening and closing the door. And Copper goes over there for a moment and tugs on Mishan's cloak, and they begin to talk for a second, and he motions you over to them.
Okay, I'll walk over. Yes.
So,
What do you think?
this journal, may I see it, please?
Yes. I'll hand it. I'll hand it over to her. Open to the page.
And she looks at it, takes the page and holds it up to like one of the lanterns on the wall.
I can't tell what this is written in. It doesn't look like ink.
That's interesting.
It's symbolism. Bryn Shander, swords.
The only thing I can think of is, well, here in Brinchander, there's not too many people with weapons. Usually it's fishing, mining. Only people with swords are the guards or the militiamen.
Well,
Right.
what about the people who supply the militiamen? They're kind of swordsy. The black iron blades. Yeah, black iron blades. They're in the middle of town somewhere. I heard they make a lot of swords.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. Swords, the blades.
I mean, I don't
Where
know if it's.
you don't know exactly where it is.
It's near the center of town. You should be able to see it as long as you make it to towards the center. If you look northward from the town square, you should be able to see a sign hanging over the door. No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I would apologize if it's not like right on the nose. I'm just thinking the only thing
Maybe I
can
can
think
get
of
some
is
answers
swords.
there. Right. Maybe I can get some answers. Thank you. I'll take my book back and put it away real quick, and I'll say, I don't want to rush, but if I can come back later tonight, maybe I'll be back. But I need to find these answers. I need to figure out what this means.
No, of course. You can take your time. There's no rush to come back here. If you find it necessary, you can always come by and say hi. And
Yes,
repay your debt in any way you see fit.
Thank you. And what was the name of your friend again?
I'm sorry?
Um,
Copper?
Copper. What's the name of your friend? Up to the north. I'll pay him a visit too for you.
Oh.
See if he's doing all right.
Yeah, you mean Hopkin Gumbles?
Yes. I'll check up on him if I get a chance.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. If you do find out something, please let me know so I don't worry.
Yes. Well, thank you again, and I'll have you in my prayers.
Well, sure thing, and you'll be in ours. And yeah, like I said, if you ever make your way back in town, don't be afraid to stop by.
Yes. Thank you again. I'll head out the door.
You make your way to the front door, and they kind of tail right behind you as they kind of lead you, as if mother and father kind of leading you to the door. And they both stand in the doorway as you open it up and make your way out. And behind you, you can hear them conversing. You hear,
Strange fella.
won't be the last time we hear of him. Aminator willing.
You mean Lathander?
No, I mean Aminator.
Lathander!
And the door shuts.
Shake my head at both of them, and to myself at both of them, and head towards the middle of town. In a hurry.
Yeah. In this rush, you can see now that you're nearly almost leaving at the exact same time that you had left the day prior. The darkness of the sky has barely changed whatsoever, and as a matter of fact, you can see that it's probably nearing nighttime yet again, as the aurora in the sky has already begun many miles to the north, but you can see it slowly rolling across the sky far from you. You begin making your way through the city desolate as ever. You had made your stay outside of this humble abode as one of the only people out and about in the town. You had made a small little campfire that had long died. But as you make your way towards the center of town, nothing seems alive. Everything is just cold, and doors are closed, and you hardly ever even see the warm glow of fire within some of these houses. All of them, they seem almost empty. You think for such a large town, you would see such a nice population coming from where you were. Everybody kind of bundled together. And here, almost not a soul in sight. You see the occasional guard with a lantern just walking down the street and making his way towards wherever he's going.
Do I see a sign for the place I'm looking for, or am I still like kind of lost in here?
No, you make your way towards the town center, and you can see now this is a large open complex of kind of like just placed stones that has been made to emulate roads or walkways in this area. In the center is a very uninspired well of sorts. It's just a basin that it looks like it's been made. That's completely full of ice. It's just been iced over. But you look to your north, as you had been told before, and almost maybe only 50 to 75 feet off to the northeast, leading down the road, you see a cart of sorts being led by two sled dogs. And just outside of this building, you see two smaller, what look maybe like gnomes or halflings, currently gathering large pieces of scrap metal and pushing them along or putting them along the side of the building next to it, as a human looks to be either directing them or supervising them in some way.
I'll watch them for a minute.
Yep.
Just kind of walk up a little bit, but I'll just keep an eye out and see what's going on.
As you're watching them, and you can kind of see them from a distance, the two halflings or gnomes, they continue working. They just keep putting more and more of this scrap metal that they pull from the sled, put it next to the house. But the human, kind of like knowingly, like puts his head up in the air and then looks like directly in your direction, and almost like looks directly at you. And he just kind of puts his chin up in the air.
I'll head towards him.
Yeah, he sees you kind of put your hand up, and he just like slowly puts his up.
Hello. Is this the Black Iron Blade?
Yeah? Who are you?
I'm nobody really. I'm looking for the Black Iron Blade. I feel like I need to be here. What is this? A weapon shop?
Yeah, I guess you can call it that. You feel like you need to be here. You needing some weapons or armor, and this is your place.
How about work?
Well, I don't know anything about work. We travel from place to place and gather for these people. They might have something for you here too, I guess. Maybe.
I thank you. I'll head inside.
Yeah, no problem.
And he looks over. He's like, "Hey, don't drop that! Come on!" And
I'll head up to the door and I'll just bang on it.
Boom,
Hello?
Boom, boom, boom. You can hear what sounds like quite a conversation going on from the inside through the door. The muffled voices of several people talking, not all at the same time, but it sounds almost boisterous inside. You walk inside, and the door doesn't open. And so you
Knock
bang
on it
even
again.
harder.
Hello.
All right, you bang even harder. And as you bang on the door yet again, the door opens up, And standing in front of you is a sight you've never seen before and chills you almost to the bone as you look directly in the face of a very dark skinned elf looking directly at you in the eyes. You can see that the white part of their eyes are black and her hair the color of blood. She looks directly at you and she gives you a very slight grin.
Her eyes red.
Her eyes are black.
I mean the
pupils of her eyes.
middle.
Well, she kind of blinks for a moment. She looks directly at you. And that's where we'll end today's session.
Oh man, I love your descriptions. Like I'm listening to a storybook. helps picture what's going on around me really well. So thank you.
Yeah, no
Hold on.
problem. Time flew by way too fast. I'm telling you, these short sessions are somewhat well, short. You know what I'm saying? They're meant to be these little snippets, these things that are like, oh, I want more. So that being said, for those watching on YouTube, we have plenty more to come. The next one shot will be Olanu. If you're wanting to catch that live, be sure to catch us there. And for those watching on YouTube, you have plenty to go through as well. You have all the character introductions. You have all the one shots we've played so far. So looking forward to finishing this whole thing off with Olanu. And then remember, on the 5th of December, we're going to be playing our first session, our first real session. And that will be the time that you need to join and donate and come in and subscribe, because we will be giving away everything to charity. So make sure you're there, and we'll see you later. Keep being your best self, YouTube. Bye.